So as you know, I'm attempting to stay awake for 72 hours, 3 full days. So in your professional experience, do you think it's dangerous to be awake for that long?
I do. I would never recommend that you try that. I think approaching day 2, you may start to feel a little bit maybe out of body, sort of like a little bit detached from reality. They call it derealization and depersonalization, where you might feel like things are not real. And you may start to experience, some psychotic symptoms as well, which is, maybe having some visual or auditory hallucinations.
Do you think you could survive without sleep? Think about it. What's the longest amount of time you've gone without sleeping? Was it a day, 2 days, 3 days? Professionals always say, get your 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night, or, make sure to get a good night's rest before your big day tomorrow. But did you know by the time you reach 80 years old, you would have slept away 26 years of your life? 26 years. Me personally, I feel like that's just a waste of time. Imagine we could survive with no sleep. Imagine we could save those 26 years and do something else with them. Today is Friday, October 13th. It's 4:07 p.m. and I'm gonna try to stay awake for the next 72 hours.
This won't be your usual stay awake challenge. I'm actually gonna measure my effectiveness and my productivity throughout this whole experience by doing these 3 tests. One is supposed to test my critical thinking. It's just a series of simple addition and subtraction math questions. Any 3rd grader can solve them. Another one is supposed to test my reaction time. And the 3rd one is supposed to test my memory. All these tests were recommended to me by Jessica Palmer, a clinical psychologist who's been studying sleep and sleep therapy for the past 15 years.
My name is Jessica Palmer. I'm a clinical psychologist. Generally, I've been practicing for about 22 years and was originally trained in working with sleep disorders in 2008, so about 15 years.
So all of these tests will be conducted every day, at the 24-hour mark, the 48-hour mark, and hopefully the 72-hour mark. First, we're gonna do a simple baseline test where I'm gonna do each of these tests fully rested off 8 hours of sleep.
Okay, and the time starts now. So the first test, I'm gonna do it right now. The time is 4:27, and let's see how well I do. Dude, I'm kind of nervous. I haven't done addition or subtraction in a hot minute, so 1 plus 5 is 6, 4 plus 0 is 4, 1 plus 1 is 2, 6 plus 2 is 8.
You can imagine I finished fairly quickly. I mean, it is 3rd grade level, so it was pretty easy.
9. All done. Pretty sure they're all right. I'm like 100% sure they're all right. But yeah, that took me like less than 30 seconds. Okay, we're gonna do the reaction test now. So once it turns green, I have to click it or tap it. You get 5 tries. And it takes the average out of all 5.
I'm just gonna speed through this because it's obviously boring, but you get the idea. And for the memory test, it was a Simon Says game. You basically have to remember the order of the colors as it calls it out to you.
And for the Simon Says, I got up to 14 in a row, okay? Day 1 stats. I've only been awake for about 15 minutes. Obviously, I feel great. This challenge is gonna be fucking easy. I have nothing to worry about. Sleep is not required and I don't need it. I'm going to live great for these next 72 hours.
So why do we need sleep? What's so important about it?
We mostly need sleep because it's a way of recharging the body and the brain. They believe sleep is a period of restoration, where tissues are repaired, memories are consolidated, information is stored, and without it, the whole body can really suffer as a result.
Okay, so we just hit the 12-hour mark. It's not that bad, I don't feel that tired, but as soon as you lie down, as soon as I lay down, it starts to hit me. The time now is 4:30 a.m. and it's time to go for a run. Is it possible to hallucinate when experiencing insomnia?
Absolutely. Going without sleep is going to impair your functioning. If you just keep going, the symptoms will just worsen. So say after 24 hours, you're gonna have a blood alcohol of 0.08. Take that to 48 hours, you're gonna be feeling much more impaired. You may start to have more mental confusion, hallucinations, visual and auditory perceptual disturbance.
So It's officially been one day, a full 24 hours. I don't feel that bad. Sometimes it feels like my eyes are heavy though. So when I'm like just working or sitting, my eyes get a little heavy. I have to raise my eyebrows a lot so I don't feel like I'm falling asleep. At the very beginning, I did 3 tests to test my critical thinking, or my memory, and my reaction time. So after 24 hours of being awake, we're gonna test it again and see if there's any change. So as I'm doing this, I just wanna remind you, the very first time I did this, it took me about 45 seconds to complete 20 problems. So we'll see how long it took me to complete it after 24 hours of being awake. All questions done. Took me, I think, about the same time, about a minute. So not really much change there. Well, I'd probably say just over a minute because the clock just turned to 7. I could feel like I'm a little bit duller. It's just cloudy. It kind of feels like my head is just, when I think about something, that thought turns into like poofs and it turns into smoke. I can't really effectively focus on that thought. So now it's time for the memory test. Like I said, the Simon Says game. And this one actually surprised me a little bit. Yeah. Damn, that's actually hard. How kids do this, I don't know. Like normally my memory is just bad, I think. I don't think this has anything to do with me being sleep deprived for 24 hours. I got up to 6, so that's almost half of what I got before. Before I got 14 in a row, now I got 6. Quite a drastic change there. I don't know if I should be like happy or sad or... Now we have the reaction test. At the baseline test, I got an average of 285 milliseconds.
You may be feeling derealization, out of touch with reality. Take that to 72 hours. All of that will just worsen. Your immune function can also be compromised. And if someone, say, had underlying cardiac situation that they weren't aware of and, going 3 days or longer without any sleep at all would be, potentially very dangerous.
Okay, so the average this time was 302 milliseconds. And the baseline I got when I was fresh was 285 milliseconds. I got a little bit slower, just a little bit. What is that? Difference of
medically, cognitively, psychologically, I would not recommend it.
So as I was reaching the 30-hour mark, I started to feel this impending boredom. Like I had nothing to do. The productivity was so high that I finished all my work for the entire week. So I didn't really know what else I could do. So I decided to just go for a walk in the middle of the night. It's 4:40 a.m. right now, so we're 36 hours in. It's about 4:45 a.m. I can almost feel myself deteriorating a little. The wind, as the wind's going, I hear like whooshes and waves. It's almost playing tricks on me, and it's kind of feeding into my paranoia. I always think that there's something behind me or someone making a noise, but it's nothing. As I reached the 48-hour mark, this is when things started to get really interesting. You could just tell by the test I did at the 48-hour mark.
Not sure what I can say to explain the way I feel, but it's everything times 10, times 100. I just can't think straight. Can't really do stuff for longer than a couple of minutes before I, like even right now, can't really speak loud. The louder I speak, the more energy I exert, and the more tired I get.
Can you die from lack of sleep?
I'm not sure. That's a really good question. Probably. I would think that would just be terrible for the body. Yeah. I can't really say that for sure.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
So at the 48-hour mark, it took me a minute and 47 seconds to do the math questions. My reaction time was 530 milliseconds, and I only got 3 in a row for the Simon Says game. You could tell I was crumbling. To stay awake, I literally tried everything. Drinking strong coffee, going for a walk, taking a cold shower, but nothing worked.
Yo, even my eyes, like if you look at my eyes, they're so like tired. 50 hours in, I try to go as long as I can go. It was fun at first, but now it's like legitimate torture.
The longer I went, the more it felt like this, where everything was kind of blurry and I couldn't even see straight. So I was about 57 hours in, and I decided to do the test because I didn't think I would make it.
We're 56 hours in. I was just trying to work and I kept falling asleep, so I don't think I'm gonna make this.
8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 9 plus 3 is 12.
So in your professional experience, do you think it's dangerous to be awake for that long?
I do. I would never recommend that you try that.